So it seems as though we will not be getting equity for the passing of Shanquella Robinson examination. Says injury, yet as indicated by them, there is no spinal line injury. At last the Robinson family has established profit to communicate their complaints. A legal counselor, relegated to the instance of Shanquella's grisly end, has spoken distinctly against the U.S. examination, revealed the sad event, and fans are starting to ponder who is lying about what. Watch till the finish of the video. And you might be stunned by what the legal counselor said. The Equity Division reported that it will not seek after government arraignment of anybody regarding the demise of Shanquella Robinson in Mexico the previous fall, and as normal people in general, is angry to exacerbate the situation. The Doge authorities guarantee that in the wake of researching the young ladies, passing the proof doesn't uphold indictment by the U.S. Lawyer's Office. As for each situation viable for bureaucratic indictment, the public authority should demonstrate for certain that a felony was committed. A statement from Dodd states, in light of the consequences of the dissection, and after a cautious thought and survey of the analytical materials by both U.S. lawyers' workplaces, government examiners, illuminate Ms. Robinson's family today that the accessible proof doesn't uphold a bureaucratic indictment. In the meantime, the proof being referred to is the viral video that everybody has finished up will close the case and serve equity right away. Yet everybody thought off base, as the U.S. central government said a major no. Clearly Shanquella's family and their legitimate group reject the Doe's choice, saying the U.S. specialists never treated the case with earnestness and should have been pushed prior to focusing on it. We're seeing the consequence of a postpone, which is the reason there was consistently a worry, which is the reason I generally say this is individual's case. Lawyer Sue Ann Robinson said this is individual's development that expressed greetings, no great explanation for why a person of color ought to travel with her companions, be gotten back to her family in a crate. That individual of color, dark and earthy colored casualties of wrongdoing need to do this each time they are casualties of violations. However, it is tragically what it is. And again, yet that wasn't the main thing the U.S. authorities couldn't get right. As you may definitely know, Knife Fellow went with a gathering of 6 companions to Cabo, Mexico in October 2022. While traveling, the 25-year-old bafflingly kicked the bucket. Initially, her partners in crime claimed the lady kicked the bucket because of liquor harming. A long time after she kicked the bucket, a brutal and upsetting video started coursing web-based showing Shanquella being beaten in what gave off an impression of being the extravagance manners she was traveling at when she kicked the bucket. Her family was informed she passed from liquor harming. However, as per a post-mortem examination directed in Mexico, which was disclosed by this Robinson family lawyers, Shanquella passed on from chartbook and medullary disengagement, a wrecked neck and spine, and her way of death was Violet, who is lying then. Thus different stories encompassing what happened to Shanquella were not reliable with the discoveries of the Mexican clinical inspector. As per a dissection acted in link, after her destruction, she didn't bite the dust from an extreme liquor, yet from serious spinal rope injury. In that was luxation. This combined with a video spilled via virtual entertainment of Shanquella being viciously beaten by one of the voyagers provoked the family to seek after murder allegations, regardless of the proof given by the Mexican specialists. U.S. authorities state the proof occasions they've gathered, incorporating a post-mortem led in Mecklenburg province, doesn't uphold squeezing criminal allegations being gotten in American court. The examination concerning the conditions encompassing the passing of Miss Robinson has been vital for bureaucratic examiners and the FBI. The Doe's declaration, read the demise of Ms. Robinson, has been extraordinarily hard for her family and the local area. As an issue of strategy, bureaucratic authorities, by and large, don't give public statements concerning the situation with an examination anyway, given the conditions of Ms. Robinson's demise and the public worries encompassing this examination. It is critical to promise the public that accomplished bureaucratic specialists and prepared investigators widely explored the accessible proof and have presumed that administrative charges can't be sought after the boldness. While looking for reality for Shanquella's family, the attorneys headed out to Mexico on a reality-finding mission, and they proposed the data given by the Mexican government is enough for the Dodge to act and truly people in general. Concurs the lawyers Robinson and Benjamin Crump spread out legitimate choices the central government could seek after for the situation. In a new letter to President Joe Biden, the lawful group said if the U.S. resident carries out manslaughter in Mexico and gets back, they can have to deal with criminal penalties in the states under government regulation or state regulation, relying upon the conditions of the wrongdoing. Bureaucratic charges are gotten situations where the wrongdoing includes interstate trade or administrative policing. We know in a transnational situation where proof was conceivably moved and people of revenue spoke with one another by means of wireless. Bureaucratic charges could be brought against those liable for Shanquella's obligation. The letter says, likewise, sue subterranean insect Robinson. Trusts that a postponed in moving the body prompted disparities for the situation anyway. She addressed administrative specialists' negligence of the video, showing a horrible and fierce assault, adding that the branch of state authorities put out a statement in light of the case. An advance examination was sent off other than the video, gave a reasonable clarification of Shanquella's dissection report. Tragically, the U.S. branch of equity made an announcement that Perusa's experienced government specialists and prepared examiners broadly investigated the accessible proof and have reasoned that bureaucratic charges can't be sought after. Obviously, the U.S. authorities are standing the ground that the U.S. won't record charges for the situation. Yet Shanquella's legal counselors won't take no for a response. We should perceive how the netizens have responded. A virtual entertainment client composed no legal counselor can assist with arguing their situation, where proof is being shown plainly that David Cabo 6 is liable for Shanquella Robinson's demise. One more added, how are you attempting to legitimize somebody's homicide? Even presence of mind would let you know what prompted Shanquella Robinson's passing. Twitter attorneys added in the meantime the branch of equity's public statement states a different postmortem was led in the U.S. However, it doesn't meticulously describe what the outcomes were. So could this mean there is something the U.S. authorities need to stay quiet about? Curiously, soon expressed by the Division of Equity, the postmortem examination done in the U.S. didn't show a spinal physical issue like the examination led in Mexico. Shoetzi, which was finished after the body was preserved and afterward moved. She additionally said the reason for death from the U.S. postmortem examination is dubious. Her assault was caught on record, and presently we are being informed there will be a capture. She proceeded with it. Helped me to remember George Floyd. When we were let, we weren't seeing, no we seeing. And how we were informed that while we were watching with our own eyes Derek Chauvin putting his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And in spite of the fact that Shanquella's legal advisors have informed the U.S. government that it is a wrongdoing under the U.S. Constitution to kill a U.S. resident in an unfamiliar country, the FBI has not called Shanquella's passing a homicide, but rather the Mexican specialists have considered her demise a femicide and orientation-based murder and disdain wrongdoing, as per the Robinson family lawyers and Mexican policing a capture warrant for one of Shanquella's partners in crime. So might there be a light toward the finish of this dull passage? The statement closures by expressing that on the off chance that new data about the case emerges, the public authority is ready to survey it. We're frustrated, yet we're not prevented, the Robinson family lawyer Sue Ann Robinson said during a question and answer session live gushed by WSOC. It's not something unforeseen. Dark and brown individuals have all generally needed to cut their own weight of equity. And we've been doing that starting from the start. Swan then contrasted Shanquella's mom with Ahmaud Arbery's mom, Wanda Cooper Jones, who battled for equity for her child. After he was killed, she's covering a kid free for a kid and afterward battle for equity for her kid. Simultaneously, Suan likewise said that Shanquella's case was not treated in a serious way, starting from the starting, which has caused errors in the examination. Today we wound up with much a greater number of inquiries. Then response to Suan added, "We stand with this family, and we will remain with this family until the end." Suan recently told individuals Shanquella was an informed, energetic, aggressive business visionary that truly had a mindful heart, and she went on a getaway and was gotten back in a crate. Nobody ought to need to spend their last minutes the way that she did. Ideally, the case will be settled, and the guilty parties will confront the fury of Parcel. Now that all hands are at hand, it sure feels like equity is close to. See you next time for more data.